The term narcissism floats around these days, and it's kind of a big $3 word that simply means selfishness. Let's take a bit of a look at this term and give it some definition. A 6-month-old is a total narcissist. All the kid wants is to be fed, to be held, to be changed. Whatever it is the kid wants, that's what is demanded. As the child continues to grow, gradually, the child begins to understand that he or she is not the center of the universe. But that takes a while. When you end up with a situation where a person is 20, 30, 40, 70 years old, and they still have a tendency to think that life is to be lived around whatever it is they want, we have what is called a narcissist. And this condition is on a continuum. No one is a pure narcissist, and no one is exempt from being somewhat narcissistic. Self-centeredness is our animal self. Now, as a person who works with men, and whether they call me their therapist, a counselor, mentor, coach, or just an old guy who has been around the block a few times and they value the chance to spend some time talking with me. Once in a while, I run into a man who has a pretty high degree of selfishness, narcissism. And one of the difficult things in what I do is, what do you do when the narcissism is so obvious that unless it's in some way confronted, the person will not be able to make any more progress? They are wasting their energy and my time by coming to me thinking that somehow I'm going to be able to help them, when really what the issue is, they cannot let go of their selfishness, their self-centeredness, their narcissism. And I've had occasions here and there where a person is so self-absorbed in their own likes and dislikes that if I begin to confront it, they literally get up and walk out. And at those times, because I'm human and I like to be liked, I sometimes second guess myself. What could I have done differently? Did I do the right thing? Had I been more patient with them, would they have stuck around? Well, those questions are worthwhile to explore, because I certainly am not perfect and I want to learn and grow as I go along and do a better job of what I do. But on the other hand, sometimes the person's narcissism just has to be confronted. When Jesus met the rich young ruler, the man had done enough to meet the standard of the synagogue. He kept all of the commandments. But Jesus detected narcissism. The guy was preoccupied with piling up wealth as his form of idolatry, security. And narcissism will do that. It will hang on to certain kinds of things in order to feel secure, in order to feel like they're worth something, in order to avoid being threatened by life. And what Jesus did was confront the man. Now, he didn't expect the guy to actually sell everything and walk around naked. What he was saying was, you have got to let go of this business of thinking that you're the center of things and you've got the money to prove it. He was saying you got to let go of your self-centeredness. That's what selling all and giving to the poor is really about. It's not about money. It's about letting go of his focus on himself and satisfying only himself. When we're confronted with narcissism in others or in ourselves, do we have the courage to address it? It takes wisdom. It takes a certain amount of empathy and compassion. But it takes a heavy dose of courage to confront our own self-centeredness and that of others. I try to depend on the leading of the inner voice for the wisdom to do so. Sometimes I do better than others. But it is necessary at some point to confront the narcissist. Give it some thought.